second life. Now it's time to give it that third life. A new chase rack tied in to the rack up on the roof and to the new tailgate. It's a 52 record.
This is the one that they're building the frame for right now.
That frame should go underneath that in the morning. Heads or tails? Way overbuilt. That's just perfect.
Speaking of, here he comes. Woo! Baby, running.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Stress reliever. On the way to lunch sometimes, I might just randomly take a left, just go off road, go jump some stuff, just have a good time.
They feel having all the fun.
Just clears your mind and start the rest of the day off on a different note. And of course, one of my favorite vehicles to do that in is the orange Baja truck.
Man, that thing takes some abuse. What's up, Bill?
Bro, what are y'all doing over here?
We just rolling down the road, want to get parts. See you back here acting like a fool.
Sometimes you get a little stressed out at the shop, man. You just got to blow off some steam, right?
Hey, we know all about that. I can't believe this thing is still kicking, dude.
Yeah,
still
6 years later, right?
It still looks the same.
It's showing its age now. You know, it's been done for quite some time, and I abuse it constantly.
I can tell.
It's about time to take it back in the shop and get a little revamp. 6 years back, I bought a 2017 F-150 from Dave. I had a crazy idea to turn it into a Baja-style truck. And we did exactly that. Replacing the busted part of the frame, added a turbocharger, long travel control arms, big heavy-duty coilovers, traction bars, and of course, wheels and tires.
You know, I always did want this truck back.
One truck that I'm not getting rid of.
What you gonna do to it?
One of the first things got to do is upgrade the lighting. A roof rack with a bunch of lights in it is just a must.
You gotta see what you're jumping?
Yeah, night or day.
Okay.
At night, you want to make it day.
There you go.
I just need to wake it up. Change the bumper up some, change the grill, new tires. I'm going to put some more tires in the back.
So you gonna do a color change on it?
Definitely. I love the color, but it's time to change that too.
Something different?
Yeah, just a total facelift.
What about the back? You're not gonna do nothing back there?
Yeah.
Oh, you know he got something up his sleeve.
I want a new chase rack, but something that matches the roof rack and looks like it's tied in to the rack up on the roof and flowing down the bed sides and then flowing down into cool looking tailgate that ties everything in together. Right? And you can see the tires in the back really well too. The chase rack's signature on a Baja truck. I love the styling of it, but it's just time for an upgrade.
Hey, you know, Bill, I can't wait till you get this thing done. You gotta take me for a ride.
You got it. I'll let you know. As soon as I get this done, I'm gonna call y'all up.
I don't know.
He can't even ride
strap him
because
in the back.
he gonna be squealing.
Yeah. Oh, that turbo sounds good too.
Yeah.
You know, everybody knows that I don't keep vehicles for too long, but every once in a while, one just happens to stick around that I'm pretty fond of. Not every vehicle you drive can do what it does. This has a V8 turbocharged. I love getting behind the wheel, feeling the power. Man, it's fun to drive. I built this truck out of nothing, a wrecked up F-150, and just turned it into something real cool, something I'm proud of driving it up and down the street. But it's showing its age, so if I'm gonna touch up a couple things, I might as well just touch up a couple things, right? I gave this truck a second life. Now it's time to give it that third life.
What you doing?
What we got going on, man? See you over here brainstorming.
Mm-hmm.
You're finally selling it, huh?
Nope. The lunch trip's just are too fun. Not getting rid of this. I've had this 6 years. She's showing her age.
You know, that's right.
Yeah, no, it's not from sitting out there just hanging out.
No. Definitely gets abused.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna keep it, you gotta make it look good.
Right.
You know, all my cars are black. Looks totally out of place in my driveway.
Your friends are over.
Yeah. They're like, whose truck is that?
Yeah.
It's gotta have an accent color too.
What color are you thinking about?
Gold.
Gold.
He's on this gold kick lately. Everything's gotta be gold.
Everything gold?
Right.
Everything gold.
You already know. You already know. It's always lacked lighting too. So we gotta add a lot more lights. So I wanna add a roof rack.
Okay.
And then have a bunch of lights up on the roof. New lights down in the bumper. You know, change the bumper up a little bit. Of course, we gotta change the grill up now. If I put a new roof rack on it, the chase rack really isn't gonna match. So I think we're gonna have to build a new chase rack that ties into the roof rack.
Okay.
I actually want it to come down the bed rails and down into the new tailgate we're gonna build.
Nice.
So it's all flowing and tied together.
Nice.
That's not cool.
That way you can see the 2 spare tires in the back.
Nice.
You know, needs new tires all the way around. Just repowder coat the wheels. I love the wheels that are on it.
Yeah, that's a good looking wheel. You gonna keep it black or you gonna do the wheel gold too?
I don't know yet. We'll see. It's gonna be cool, man. I'm getting excited. You know, I can't get rid of my old truck, man.
Oh man, that's
No, but it's been a long time coming. It'd be great to do it all over again.
Many jumps since then.
Let's find something.
How about your motorcycle?
Yeah, his. He was asking
No.
you. He was asking you.
Hell no. There's so much caked on mud, you can barely see the suspension or the frame. So before we tear it all down, I'm gonna get the guys to clean it all off.
Look at that pillar right there with the tires mashed on it because it's been watered up in the fender well. Man. I remember building this truck 6 years ago and I fell in love with it right away, you know. I mean, it just had that Baja look, always been in that kind of style of truck, and it's actually when you get out there and beat up. I can't tell you how many tires I've changed on this thing. Broken windows to putting band-aids on it here and there. I mean, we've abused it, and that's an understatement. I think I remember putting these lights in.
But you're the one to blame.
Yeah.
Pulling this truck all apart definitely brings me back to, 6 years ago when we were building this for the first time. Everything's holding up pretty good.
We did, buddy.
Considering what all I've come this way, Andy. There you go.
Oh, it's broken.
Yeah.
Out of all the jumping and all that stuff over the years, that's the only crack that it has right there. Split right there.
Yeah,
Did you have to straighten this frame? Yeah. I didn't work on this one. I remember it being just completely smashed. It was like the cab, that was it. And then it had big rails coming out of the back of it, and then it turned into the stock frame arm of that.
Jesse! Man, changing up the Baja truck a little bit. So,
Baja?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's time for a little revamp. So I want to put new lights in the bumper, and I'm going to put a roof rack on it. So I want, new lighting on it too. So I want a bunch of lights on this. So I need a piece cut out with 7 holes in it, 6 and a 1/8, and same with the roof rack. Alrighty. Thank you.
So now we're gonna go ahead and put the newer style round lights, but it doesn't fit. So I have to cut the bottom of this bumper, cap it, then we'll be able to put this piece that Jesse burned in there. Our round light should fit. I'm just doing a rough template of the piece that I cut off. Maybe cut it down just a little bit, start welding this thing on. So I made some them up to the light. Now we can stick the light in the position. Go ahead and tack it on. Find exactly where we want it at. Weld it out. That's going to be done for our light bar.
Just don't go with the old eyeball. Yeah. You know, one of the benefits of driving this Baja as much as I did, I get to see all the strengths and all the weaknesses. Driving at night, it just wasn't bright enough. So this time around, I'm adding a whole lot more lights. This is going to do the trick. Love it. It's going to be bright.
Want the rest of them?
You know, 6-8 years ago, all the lights were rectangle, square. That was the trend. But now, you know, everybody's kind of getting away from that. It's going back to the old school round lights. Great, this is exactly what I was talking about.
It's going to be very, 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 very bright.
I can't wait till you're in front of me on the way to work in the morning. Over the years, we've gotten used to all sorts of vehicles rolling into the shop. But I'm not used to a big yellow school bus rolling in, packed with students for a tour.
Hey, Roger, how you doing? Carlos. Morning. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir. I teach at Lufkin ISD Automotive. I've taught there for 28 years.
You guys ready to see what we do here? Come on this way, guys.
We had an option to go to the drag races, but we decided to come to extensive.
Man, that's too many of you guys.
I've got students that like to weld. I've got students that like stereo, upholstery. All of them hard workers.
That's cool, man.
If they work hard for me, I promise.
Well, I'll get the applications ready. We'll start filling them out.
How y'all doing, man?
You started out 16 years old, working with your dad.
Yep, I was miserable at the time. I hated going to work with him and hated doing what we were doing. You know, I really didn't hate welding, but it's just something I had to do. And I just didn't want to be forced to have to do it. But thank God he passed his trade down to me, and just kind of used that over in the automotive side, which I had passion for, so I just kind of ran with that. Man, myself in high school, I was just very reserved, I just wasn't a school type of guy. It all goes back to what your passion is for. If you want to learn something, you're going to learn it. I mean, if you don't have any interest in it, you're not going to learn it. I wanted to be out, I wanted to be working with my hands, I wanted to be creating something, and, just sitting behind a desk just wasn't for me personally.
How long does it take to build a frame?
I framed something like this with probably 2 people, 2 weeks, just building a back half of a frame like the one that's on the table over there. About 3 days. That'd go underneath this truck right here, 52 record. It came in, it was all, the factory record bed from back in the 50s. And we took all that off and just lifted the body off. We're doing the whole new frame. Then it's going to be a record again, but just more or less a hot rod record. Well, basically what we do on our sketch and transfer that sketch over onto the table and actually pull some metal off the wall and start building. We build from the firewall back on the table, and then we put it up underneath the cab, establish the wheelbase, build some body mounts, and then we build the front half of it. That frame should go underneath that in the morning.
You don't know how much we appreciate you letting us come down and be a part of this.
It's cool for us too to get to show, the different stages of everything. Appreciate y'all coming by, man. It's been an eye-opening experience to have kids come through here.
You guys can see this truck right here. This is the one that they're building the frame for right now.
I can't wait to see what that generation is going to be doing 10 years from now once they find their passion, to see what they create.
Never shut anything out. If you're trying to learn cars and learn things in the car industry, be a sponge, absorb it all in and learn it all.
We're always looking for somebody at Extensive that likes what they do and can't wait to get to work in the morning. Who knows? Once these kids graduate, they need to find a place for employment, and you might see them again. Ready? And from there, we can get it up underneath the cab. It's like a 30-second on. Damn. And start working on the suspension. Yeah. Tacky. Ryan did a badass job on the rails. There's not too many vehicles with a frame like this around it for sure. The transition between the 2x5 up to the 2x4 with the truss under here is super, super strong. The next step on this is tying in the back of the frame together. You know, I want everything 100% super strong. I know the truck's not gonna actually haul a car, but if he ever does want to, he can do it. Way overbuilt, that's just perfect. About 6.5, this side's good. You know, this right here is the beginning of what holds the whole rear suspension. What holds the axle into the truck itself is the 4-link mounts. It's gonna have air suspension on this. That's why it's a big oblong shape here. So that big drive shaft can go all the way through and still have that movement to articulate up and down. You know, there's a lower 4-link bar goes here to the bottom of the axle. All the torque of the engine, it all goes through this point right here. So this has to be one of the strongest points on the whole suspension itself. Heads or tails? That's on the money, man. That's how you do it. The next step is getting the rear end in place. We're gonna kind of aim the pinion at the rear of the transmission, and that's gonna establish the pinion angle. Once that's done, we start building suspension. All right, we got our wheelbase established, got our 4-link mounts, and it's looking real good. The next step is just burning out the lower bag mount. That way we can have our plates and be able to weld them right onto the 4-link tabs themselves. And that'll tie everything in all nice and together. So it'll be a super strong base for our airbag, which is gonna hold all the weight on the whole truck. So I'm gonna send these over to Jesse, have him burn out a 1/4-inch plate for me, and we'll have some nice, cool, strong bag mounts to weld right onto the 4-link tabs.
Know where the other bracket went?
Oh, now that we have the frame mocked up and built for the 52 wrecker, we're moving on to the upper bag mounts.
And then we'll just boom shakalaka from
This is 3, so how about just 1.5 inches?
There you go, that'll work too.
You know, a lot of stuff we build the bottom up. In this case, we're gonna build the top bag mounts and then work our way down. So build from the top on this, make sure it's 100% perfectly level, and then we'll build down.
Ow, don't get my finger. Dang old.
We can go ahead and tack the bottom to that.
Yeah,
and hold it all
then
together.
we can
there.
take all this off,
Yeah.
and we can just drop
Then
that
it'll
back
be,
right.
then it'll be where it needs to be. Yeah. Put one clamp all the way through it. Cool.
You want to bend both of them, right? Come out.
They can
boom,
just, no, just go
boom.
straight out.
Because if I go straight out on this one, it's going to get right into our holes.
Bend it.
Put a little slight bend in it right here.
Bend it, chop it.
Jesse, can I come over? Alright, so got the back brackets done, everything's tacked in. We'll wait to throw some weld on there. We're gonna build a few more things out and just keep rolling with this.
I've been known to be a little hard on my vehicles. That couldn't be more true on that 2017 Baja. One of the things it really needs is some new tires. So I'm gonna get my boy Billy to get me hooked up and get them mounted.
I can't even remember how long, but I've known Bill for a long time. He's hard on everything. But when it comes to these V-locks, this works well for him. The V-locks will ensure that he can get home safe, get back to the trailer without a tire falling off of the wheel. So what we'll do, come over here, break the bottom bead down. Everything about this tire is just tough. So if I can get some lube up underneath that bead and let it drop back down, now it's lubed between the bead and the wheel. So now when I go back on it, many times it's a little bit easier and it'll drop off that rim flange. Use lube. It makes your life easier, makes the machines last longer, less chance of scratching a wheel. So what we'll do is we'll also replace this valve stem. It's just always good to replace the rubber. Rubber deteriorates. The last thing we'll do is do all this work. You go down the road and your valve stem breaks because we didn't do a simple 1 minute replacement on a valve stem. Now what we'll do is line this bead up on top of this. Make sure it's all in there. And go and put that ring on there with the new bolts. What we're gonna do is put all these in. It's best that you go in a circle in these bead locks because you don't really want to go in a star pattern like we do on everything else. You can pinch a tire if it's not under the flange here for the bead for this outer ring to clamp down on the tire. And then I'm gonna go back with the torque wrench and we're gonna go around 3 circles. And we're gonna torque it down to 20 foot-pounds and that will make sure that all the bolts are evenly torqued. We're gonna go ahead and throw it in our tire cage here, inflate it. I'm gonna inflate it up to 35 PSI, and then we'll go ahead and balance it. The best balance is to do a dynamic balance. Dynamic balance is balancing on 2 planes, up and down. It also, I always watch the assembly spin just to make sure that I've done it correctly, make sure I didn't make a mistake. All right, machine reads okay on both planes. This one's all ready to go, all balanced. Because Bill's running 2 spares on his pre-runner truck, I got 5 more to go.
You ready?
I'm here.
Let's do it. Instead of building a custom roof rack for my F-150 Baja, I got this one to save some fabrication time, but we'll incorporate it into the new chase rack so it'll all flow together. Where you at on the rib?
I think we're pretty even right there, actually. I think we're right in the same exact spot.
But it's just one of those things always wanted on top of the truck, but never found the time to make it happen. The chase rack we're building is going to go from the roof rack all the way back to the tailgate. So I'm going to start out building bed rails. We're going to bend them so we can cap the bed sides, bed front, and I'm going to start filling in the back of the bed. We just drill a couple holes, we can bolt it later with like 1/4 inch bolts, but right now we just put a couple tech screws in it just to hold it.
What is this one for here? What is that?
And this is gonna work. This is the layout I think aesthetically is going to look the best, you know, tie everything together. So I'm going to have Jesse cut out 4 plates just a little bit and bring them in a little bit closer together on the top so it's not the same thickness. You know, it gives a little more style to it.
I think it's going to look badass now. After I finish cutting these side pieces, I'm going to just take them off the plasma table, clean off the slag.
I'm doing something custom here, definitely want to pay attention, especially the boss's truck. If I don't do this right, Bill's gonna fire me.
You know, a lot of times when you already finish a build, you're thinking, what can I do next? Getting another chance on the F-150 Baja is something I've been thinking about for a while now. A custom chase rack was on top of my list.
Everything's parallel on my pieces, so I'm gonna go ahead and use some 2.5-inch 3/16 flat bar and start capping the backside. You know, I want a little bit thicker material right here on the edge. If anything's ever happened, I want to make sure my end's solid. I don't know if y'all know, it's gotta hit it. Got the outsides tacked in now, so I'm going to start moving to the inside. This one's got a slight radius to it, so I'm going to have to roll it. Once I get both pieces rolled, do believe that's going to work. Tack them in. Once I get them all tacked in, I'm going to go ahead and snap these off, tack on the back pieces, weld it out.
He's like, I know you got some treats for me in that pouch. Remember that one time when you weren't hungry? We were putting mesh in the tailgate, roof rack, bumper, chase rack. Same. The fit.
Looks nice. Chase rack's coming along really good. You know, it's got some risk with it. You know, you'll never see nothing like this on anything else. That's the coolest part, I think, about it.
Now, I probably shouldn't be working on my own car right now, but that's the perks of being the boss. I want the tailgate gone, you know. You see Baja trucks, they don't have a tailgate. You see what's in the back. I just want something a little bit more of the off-road look. We're building a chase rack, we're building some style into that. And I just want to carry that same styling back into the tailgate. So just trying to get back and really look at what works the best, what ties the tailgate into the chase rack and ties the whole truck together from front to back.
Jesse got these burned out, fit up real nice for the tailgate over here. And cap the ends same way. Alright, so I got these pieces bent up, they fit good in here. I'm going to give it a few tacks, get that kind of fit in there how I like, and then work on the outside. So I could have made this all in one bend, but I didn't want to. I'm just going to take some flat bar now that that's tacked in. Get a really hard edge right here instead of having that round edge that doesn't follow the flow of anything else that we got going on. It takes about 15 extra minutes, but whatever. It'll look better in the end. They'll look super cool whenever we get them all cleaned up and everything. We got this mesh piece that's going to go on here and matches everything else we got going on with the front bumpers, the roof rack, the chase rack, the whole nine. This being on the tailgate is just going to tie all that in, keep the flow of everything going, and keep this dude happy.
Oh, 16.
That's a good eyeball.
The suspension on this 1952 record is coming along nicely. The next pieces are going to be those upper bag brackets.
And that's the way the cookie crumbled. So we started with everything being flat and on the same plane and everything, and come through here and just bent this little bar up, give it a little bit of character, and it also goes with the flow of everything else going on. 45s everywhere or a nice roll. This is also, my upper back bracket too. So this, going to be able to hold any weight that he decides to put behind this thing. We'll add another piece in here, keep the flow going. Flow, what we were talking about, now we got our back brackets done, some bracing, some more aesthetics. Also goes into the structure of everything, but it's looking really. All right, let's pick it up, and I gotta get these shock tabs over this bar.
We're ready to put the frame suspension right underneath that 52 wrecker cab. We're going out that way?
I guess.
You ready? Yeah. Okay, sit right there, I got it. Getting that frame underneath the truck is a big deal. Come on, man. Come on. Take it easy. Because everything else gets built off of this.
Go up front, Zach.
From here, it's finishing the frame.
All right, right there.
Building that front suspension.
Centered up now, son?
Yeah. Building the wrecker bed and that wrecker boom.
I'm just kind of eyeballing between the two bolts right there by the center.
Installing that LT4, interior, paint, everything.
It's supposed to be 18. There you go.
I always wish and hope things can go faster. But after so many builds under my belt, I know it's just starting to get exciting.
All right, perfect.
Man, you right on time.
Bill, how's it going, man?
What's up, Billy?
Good to see you.
Billy's dropping off the wheels and tires for the 2017 Baja.
All right, so we got you all fixed up. Got them all mounted. Got the beadlocks all locked in. Went ahead and got them all balanced for you as well.
It was a pain in the butt. I know some of them bolts had to...
A little bit of work, but it wasn't too bad. They're balanced so good, they're going to ride like a Cadillac until you hit the trail and put mud on them, so...
Yeah.
But it'll be
I'm gonna
good.
do that.
Yeah, you ready to unload them?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Appreciate you, man.
Anytime. Yeah. Okay.
Man, got me all six hooked up, man. Thank you very much, as always.
You're welcome. Anytime, Bill. Always
All right.
happy to help. All right. Thanks, Bill.
Anytime you're building something on the outside of the vehicle, especially when it's as big as the Baja Chase Rack, your eye's definitely going to be drawn to it. So it's really important to make sure all those lines are perfect, from the top all the way down to the tailgate.
Now we got the chase rack fully assembled and fit together. Tailgate's in here with a little roll pan addition. Got the little added pieces in here, mesh grills and the whole nine. So we'll get this thing off the powder coat. That nice gold color on here. We'll see what it looks like when it comes back.
The thing that really stands out the most on that Baja is the color. After 6 years of the orange, it's time to go with something a little more on point with all of our other trucks.
Alright, what I got right here is the first stage in this perfect black paint job. It's the sealer. It gives you a nice solid base to enhance the color. some minutes to flash, and then we'll come with that extensive black. Most people think black is just black, but it's not. It's complicated. It's got like 6 different tones in it to make a black. It would be 9 grams of red, which is not a lot, but it's enough to make the color totally different if it's not there. We get this lid on, off to the shaker. Right now we're getting ready for the second stage, which is the brilliant black extensive style. Here at Extensive, we don't do just plain colors. We go above and beyond. But what I'm trying to achieve is a real shiny, deep black. A not so good black will look kind of, I would say, shady and not so much intense as black should be. A real good black will be real dark, real shiny. Now, painting is like science as far as the mixtures and the chemicals, and it's an art because not anybody can just paint. You gotta really want to do it. It's gotta be within you. The last final step in this beautiful paint job will be the clear coat. The most important step is that everything that you're looking for, the depth. When we get there, we're at the finish line.
Bill for several years. I remember going over there, buying oxygen and acetylene from his dad, and I literally watched him grow up. And once again, we got to come and save Bill's ass. I introduced Daniel to Bill in their younger days, and you know, Daniel ended up getting a job there. Now, Daniel's with me, and we're working together, and we branched off on our own. Bill, he does a lot of custom work and one-off stuff. We're more into the 4x4 mud light.
Bill's definitely been an inspiration. He's always pushing the bar, you know, and I do the off-roading, and it makes me push my bar, and, you know, he's ventured off into off-roading things, too. We try to help one another out. We try to work together. He's just been a real good friend. You know, sometimes Bill will call us needing something. I said, Bill, don't call. Just come get it. You know it's here.
And, you know, that's the best part of being on the north side, man. We all like one big family. We all got different styles and different tastes, but when it comes time, we all help each other out. Thanks.
Anytime, Bill, anytime.
Everything's back from the powder coater for the 2017 F-150 Baja, and it's either black or gold.
Kind of a little rough on the truck. Traction bar mount gave out, so went ahead and put a gusset right in it. Now this thing's golden.
The Baja's been just a fixture at the shop. You know, it's a truck I just really like. I just had a lot of fun with it. Building a custom car is always cool. You make it fit your personality at the time, but years later, you know, it's showing wear and tear. It's time for a new change, new look, and a new attitude. So I called up Dave and Daniel. I told them to come on. I got something to show them, and it's time for a ride.
I want to check it out. I want to see it.
Dude, I can't believe he got it done. The tailgate is what I'm most excited about. I want to see what he did there. You think he's just going to throw that old tailgate away?
Well, you know, he going to have it off the chain. He going to go to the top with it.
I know.
Speaking of, here he comes. Check it out.
Oh, man.
Now, the gold with the black, it just blends in. It's perfect. You know, when Bill comes up with an idea, ooh, it looks good.
I think he has enough lights.
I don't think he's going to let us borrow it. What's up, Bill? How you doing? You sure that's the same truck?
Man, you say that every time.
You know what he's going to say next?
No, it's not for sale.
Come on, man.
No.
You sure?
I love how you kept the gold, but didn't just like overdo it. It's perfect, dude.
Man, I appreciate it. You know, that was the first thing. The orange, it was cool, but it's time for a change. You know, all my cars now are all black, so...
Okay, you got to match it.
Got to keep it fleet.
There you go.
And accent it with the gold. You know, I just love the gold color.
Man, it pops perfect.
Right? Powder coated everything gold. And how they do that is they powder coat super chrome first, and then a transparent gold over it.
Like a candy.
Exactly. And just, man, it makes that anodized kind of look and color.
Right.
That really, really stands out. And did all the suspension, took it all apart, redid all that also. Same suspension, but it looks totally different with that new color.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's the 2-stage. It looks good.
Those tires were on there for a while, too. Had to get the new tires and had to put new grade 8 bolts because everything's gold. Might as well put the new grade 8 bolts in the bead lock, right?
Yeah,
I love it. I love how the lights got tied in from the roof rack to the bumper.
Had a bunch of lights in it, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You know, the old lighting on it was all square, so cut off the front of it and had Jesse just burn out a new plate with the right spacing and finished it off with the mesh on the outside also.
I thought it was a whole new bumper.
And the roof rack, man, I've had that in the back of the shop for years.
I know about that.
But, you know, it was time.
I love what you did. Let's see what we got going on back here with this beast. Damn, Bill, I tell you what, you made a right decision throwing that tailgate away.
Gotta let the guy behind you see what kind of tires you got, right?
Yeah.
And everything you see is all handmade. I mean, that's all burnt out plate, all welded together, sanded, smooth,
and
powder coated from that. Oh yeah,
some hours.
Yeah. I had to change out the chase rack too. You know, putting all the contours against the cab, and you know that old tired roof rack I had already had the mesh in it, so I had to carry that all into the chase rack, into the tailgate pieces.
I love how you can see all the welds. Look beautiful,
man. Appreciate it.
I've known you for a long time, Bill, and I know why you got two spares the way you be tearing up.
But we're ready to go test it out. I know you ready.
You say you're gonna put him in the back.
I'd rather drive.
Man, you ain't scared, are you?
I seen you drive.
We'll take it easy on him.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
You better.
Come on. You know, it's really cool to give this truck one more. Say thank you enough to all the guys, everybody that helps me out all day, every day, and to pitch in for one of my builds one more time.
They just come out so good, so well. You think he built us one?
Well, he ain't gonna sell you that one.
Nope, I know that.
Woo! Baby, running. A little burn right there. Yeah, I like a little burn.
Come on, man.
And I want to give it that street look.
We got a bag. We got to have air suspension.
If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Run ho!
The customer wanted show and tow for this 52 record.
We got a full chassis bumper to bumper now, so be able to handle anything they throw at it.
Supercharged LT4, 12 inches of lift. As fabricators, this is what you live for.
That's awesome, bro.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
It's pretty cool to get to do what you love. You know, when Extensive started customizing vehicles, the basis of everything we did was mainly suspension. Since then, you know, business has progressed many times over to building some iconic vehicles, from a bagged motorcycle trailer to a crazy truck we transformed into a barbecue pit, to a barbecue pit itself on a trailer, to huge builds like taking an old rusty milk truck and turning it into a fully painted diesel power showstopper, to building full tube custom buggy out of absolutely nothing, just an idea, and turning it into something to have a lot of fun with. It doesn't get cooler than that. The diversity of the builds are just gotten crazy. Even today, we're going to have electric truck dropped off, which is, you know, the latest and greatest of the car world and what everything's really evolving to. So it doesn't matter if it's a combustion engine, electric, you know, raised or lowered, you know, whatever combination of that it is, we're going to find a way to take it apart, cut it up, put it back together, create something cool, no matter what type of vehicle it is. Everybody at the shop is very talented and they love what they do, and whatever comes to the door, we're gonna make it cool. What's happening, man? Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, Bill?
Man, I'm doing real well, man. What you got here, man? A new Lightning, huh?
2022 Ford Lightning, all electricity, no gasoline.
It's a cool truck, man. How long you had it?
About a month.
That's cool, man. You don't see too many of these on the road.
No, you don't, but you will be.
I'm sure, man. That's the way the world's going, right?
That's where the future's pointing.
So does it run pretty good?
Oh, it runs good. No shift points, instant torque.
Yeah, just fun to drive.
Oh, it's a blast.
They got some power, right?
They do. They do.
You know, I had a Tesla for a while, man. It's pretty cool to not have to stop every couple days.
It is nice. I bought this truck because it's the way of the future. It's something I figured I could use for work, and I figured this is the best truck to do that with. I'd like to be able to do something a little cooler than what it is right now. I know these electric vehicles, they have a certain look, but I kind of want to give it that street look, so I'm curious what you would do to it.
So you want to wake it up a little bit?
Most definitely. We use it for the company, and I want it to grab attention.
You know, getting the stance right and getting the right wheel and tire combo with that right profile tire that goes along with that stance, that'll make all the difference in the world.
I'm all for that.
One of the things we can really do to really wake it up is we gotta lower it.
I agree, 100%.
Get rid of that wheel gap. Figure out how to make it right, comfortable too. Because I know you spend a lot of time in it, going from job to job to job.
I'm all about that. So I heard the rear end's totally different platform. So what can we do? How can we do it?
I don't have first-hand knowledge of that, but whatever it is, you know, we're going to make it happen. Now, what we have to do to make that happen, I'm not real sure, but we're going to figure that out. There's going to be a lot of eyes on this F-150. You know, this being the first that I know of being lowered and actually functioning, a lot of people are going to be asking questions. How'd you do this? What do I need to do? You know, we're going to have to make sure this thing is perfect. Hey, another thing we could do too, you know, you got that little, was that hide the batteries?
We were trying to make it look better. It came with a running board. We put a step there. Step retracts too low. I know you can probably make it look a lot nicer than what we did.
Man, I think making a custom little rocker piece that fills in that gap, it tucks a little closer to the body, you know, it'll make it look even lower to the ground too, man. And you definitely won't need a step.
No, we won't.
But do me a favor, man, show me underneath the hood.
Let's take a look.
Oh, man. Wow. Man, that takes some getting used to.
I know. Where's the motor at? The radiator.
Right? I mean, the whole grill and everything comes up with it. That's just like, that should be like a hot tub in there. Maybe we need to do that too. No, that's real cool, man. That's wild. Getting an electric trucky, the inner workings of it, how it works, learning from it. That's part of the fun of doing what we do. You know, I'm anxious to get it on the lift and to see what we got to do to make this happen.
Well, I'm excited to see what you can do to it.
Yeah, man, I'm ready. If you're ready,
let's make it happen.
It's definitely uncharted territory when you're looking underneath the vehicle and you don't know what all those components are. You're like, man, what is that? I've never seen that before. There's a lot of that going on up underneath the new electric Ford truck. I'm excited about getting underneath it, tearing it apart, integrating our suspension into the inner workings of this electric truck. There's no manual how to do what we're about to do to this. There's no call someone who's done this before. That's going to be us. You know, this is a first of a first once again, so we're going to figure it out. We're going to get up underneath of it. We're going to tear it apart. We're going to see how it works. I'm sure it's going to have its challenges, but I'm ready to get going on it. I'm ready to make a cool truck. There's going to be a lot of firsts on this pan art. Let's see what he's got on this.
It's going to be a first for me. Definitely more wiring than what I'm used to seeing back here.
Right? Normally, all this is open. There's no drive shaft, a belly pan. I don't even know where the batteries are on this thing. I'm assuming up there.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it definitely wasn't all this.
What do you got in store for us on this one?
Customer's driving around town, goes from job to job, yeah, and he wants something really just people look at. So what we're going to do is we're going to lower his butt. So we got to make it adjustable. We got to bag. We got to have air suspension.
Has anybody done air suspension on one of these trucks yet?
None that I know of. So this will be a first for sure.
Nice.
We're going to pull out these coilovers, put an air strut in place of it.
Sounds easy enough.
Oh,
let's just
man,
hope it is.
don't say that. Don't ever say that here.
The shocks and springs were shocks and springs.
Yeah.
I mean, we got that down, but where to hook up all the components, the most efficient way to run the lines, there's a lot to figure out. You know, once we get all the suspension done, we're going to take off the steps that are there because you definitely don't need it once it's lowered. So we need to replace it with a nice filler in between the two wheels.
Okay.
Something that flows from the cab all the way down about 4 inches.
We gotta give this thing a little attitude because it looks like a stock truck.
It's going to be real cool. Last thing, of course, wheels and tires.
Man, I'm excited.
It's going to be cool, man. This ain't the first time taking your wheels off, is it?
No, sir.
All right, let's get to it.
All right, time to get after it. Definitely seeing a little bit more light under here than what I'm used to.
Yeah, we're missing a motor. You can see daylight all the way across here. All the suspension, the components, the spindle, the control arm, the spring. I mean, this is what I'm used to right here. But that daylight, man, I just can't stop looking through there. We'll go ahead and get this strut out. Go ahead and remove that, both sides, then we'll go ahead and move on to the rear. We'll do everything same, 18 mil on the top.
All right.
3 nuts off. I mean, the suspension, I'm not intimidated at all. I mean, we've done suspension on everything here. The electrical and the routing has me a little nervous because this is all foreign to me, the way the belly fans are, this electric battery, this thing. So I'm definitely going to be cautious when I'm going to hook everything up in my routing. Somebody tell me there's breakfast. Woo! Cleve, you hungry? Give it a live bite, buddy. Watch your brake lines.
Everything on here is totally different. Even finding a spot for the jack stands a little tricky. All these plates, covers, I can see why they need it though, especially with the electric motor right above here. It's interesting to see the CV joints coming out of the motors rather than having a drive shaft or an axle that you would usually see in the rear of a truck. Now we have an electric motor.
We got all the suspension out now. Now we're gonna go ahead and get these amp steps out and this, I don't know what you want to call this, but this ugly piece of metal they just cake decorated on the side of this truck.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's do it, man. Gotta hold your tongue right sometimes, you know? How you looking over there, Art?
Just working on this one bolt. Then I'm gonna disconnect the motors.
Alright, everything at once. What do you think? How's your first teardown, huh?
Not bad for the first one. A little tight, but got it done.
Ready to put everything back on?
Get to see how this thing's gonna look.
All right, man, let's get started.
Oh, yeah.
Change is inevitable for every business. You know, the 2022 Ford Lightning is one of our first electric, but definitely isn't going to be our last. It's going to create some challenges for sure, but that's just part of what makes this business so exciting.
Man, look what we got here. We got nice air struts right here. These things are beautiful.
That's pretty cool. The airbag that already has a strut connected to it.
Yeah, man. It's got a nice pivot on top, the airbag and the strut, everything. You know, this is really replacing the spring right here, so we'll be able to adjust this with air pressure. Also, it's got an adjustment right here so we can actually bring it closer together to get that lower stance, you know, get that right look for the truck. They even got us the misalignment space for the bottom. I can't wait to put it on the truck and see how it performs. You know, first thing I'm looking at is the position of our airline. Since we're doing our air management in the front of the truck, front, whatever you want to call it, I'm gonna go ahead and turn our leer hose so we'll have a factory. Then I can go ahead and put my spindle back on my control arm and tighten everything down. Everything looks good, so we'll go ahead and start moving on the back. You know, I just noticed this truck has independent rear suspension. You know, it's got its own lower control arm on the rear. That's pretty cool, especially for adjustability on the air management. Going to be able to, you know, tweak this thing however way you want it to. I can't tell you how many times I thought
thought about, like, if I lose a nut and bolt in here, it might short something out.
I've worked on a lot of trucks. This is the first one that had 2 electric engines, one mounted in the front, one mounted in the rear. Used to seeing a familiar suspension system, but not today. Today it's a little different. We have 2 CV joints coming out of each side of the electric motor and some pretty beefy control arms as well.
So once we're done through bolting it, that's it. The air struts are mounted.
Yeah, so those wheels and tires for that 64 here, and I think we also be getting that bedwood kit pretty soon too.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah,
so you need something to do.
I always have something to do, but what I was going to ask you about is that tow truck out there.
Man, we're in a real good spot. You know, we built the whole frame on the table. Rear suspension is all done. We just slid the frame up underneath the cab, man. That's always a nice little milestone, and you can really start seeing it come together. The frame's built super, super strong.
Yeah, I seen it. It's almost like a show truck demolition derby at the same time.
Oh, somebody would lose.
So what's next? What do you need me to get for you?
The next thing on the record is we're going to build the front of the frame all out of 2x4. We're going to be rebuilding all the suspension, so we need Heims, bushings, spindles, you know, all that. You know, one of the major things I need your help with is engine and trans, something with a lot of power. So LT4 supercharged would be real cool in that truck. He wanted something quick.
Got the frame for it. Well, we shouldn't have any issues getting one of them engines in quick.
Don't jinx it.
We'll see what we can do.
You ready?
I've been ready.
Let's do it, man.
Let's go.
A little too long. Here, give me done with the cab, mounting it to the chassis. Everything's square and straight. So now it's onto the front cross member and building the whole front section of this truck. The best way to do it is how we've been doing it for years. Build the whole cross member out, make sure all that is true. Get it up in here and pull 1,000 measurements. 3 3/16. This is right where it needs to be. It's on the money. So I'll grab some chipboard, make some tiplets, and make some rails from here to here, and then from here to the front bumper, connect all of it. And that way it's one full complete chassis. That should fit. Now that it's already lined out, all we do is just cut on the line. Make sure it fits first. Let's go try it. Oh yeah. And then take one piece of flat bar. Get a little closer to that corner. Tag it there, and we only got one side to weld and grind. Instead of creating it all 4 pieces and then welding it all 4 sides. You know, little tricks of the trade. I feel like if Wayne Gretzky was a welder, he would be as good as me. I'm like Wayne Gretzky good. They're tacked in. Looks really good. Way cleaner and way faster than piecing it all together. Now we're going to continue the puzzle, finish the front end, and get some weld on us. So in order to do that, we made a little chipboard template. We're going to get up underneath this fender here. We're going to make a few cuts so we can connect the 2x3 down into the front cross member. Transfer our chipboard line, and we'll get into some suspension. Land ho! What I just did is called a bevel. So the reason that we put this little bevel on it is so you can get a little bit more penetration in your weld. You see, if you just put 2 pieces of metal together and you weld on top of it, you're not really, unless you're burning real hot, you're not really going to get much penetration inside that metal. Any stress or any force or anything, man, it'll just crack and break. They put a little bevel in there, get a little bit more strength. Oh, brother. Where art thou? Ooh, we're good there. Good there, bud. See what happens when you measure 1,400 times?
mounts in place on the 52 tow truck frame. So Ryan's adding tube work underneath the frame just to make it like a truss and super strong.
Boom. Shakalaka. So now I'm gonna go over there and clean those pipes. And then bring them back. It's hot. It's hot. So I can mark this. Yeah, like it. I think that's gonna work, man. Just need some weld and a few tabs here and there, but for the most part, we got a full chassis bumper to bumper now. This will be able to handle anything they throw at it. Tow anything, drive anywhere, haul anything, whatever they want. It's gonna be a good truck. Alright, you got it right there.
The customer wanted Show A4 6.2. It's definitely going to be the right mix of power and reliability. Man, this truck is going to be fun to drive.
Alright, down. Hold up, hold what you got. It's hitting the back there. Alright, I gotta do a little bit more trimming. It's going this time. Show. Alright, down. There you go.
Voila.
That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, you don't ever get to say that, right?
I know, right?
Man, supercharged LT4, this is exactly what this old truck needed. 640 horsepower, 4 black marks.
Yeah, dude.
It's nice and compact, too. That's what this run-in needed, right?
Yeah, buddy, it's clean. All right, I'll do some motor mounts and transmission mount.
Yeah, man.
Keep it rolling.
Do it to it. So. We set up thousands of air management systems on many other vehicles, but this whole setup on this new lighting is unlike anything we work with.
Wow, you know, I'm totally used to a motor being here, but since there's not, we're gonna go ahead and put our air management up here. New tank, get my compressors on, get my 3P on, then we're set. This is definitely different. It's gonna be cool. Get some Teflon real quick and go ahead and start wrapping these. You know, it doesn't change our air management. It's still point A to point B. You have your compressors, your manifold. Even though there's no motor right there, everything's actually all still the same. Okay, everything looks good. 3P mounted, compressors. Now let's go ahead and mount this inside the trunk. Pilot hole, 7/16.
Those are for the tank.
So this is what's going to secure our air management. We get one nut on it. Now we'll get started on the other side and we'll start tightening these boogers down. Hopefully it's sticking this crosshair and might get electrocuted. I know there's a battery right here. Wow, this is going to be so much fun. We can't really put a ratchet in there and tighten it up. If it was easy, everybody would do it. There's always answers.
You know, doing something you haven't done before is never easy. And sure, I've definitely been frustrated myself a few times. And in this case, we need to tie that tank in so it definitely won't move around. And because there's a ton of electronics in the way, we can't reach the nut. So we're going to improvise and weld a nut on the end of the piece of flat bar so we can reach on in there.
Now we'll be able to stick this in the fender well, thread down our bolt. That's going to hold and secure our air management. All right, ready? All right. Bump it. Full speed. All right. Good deal. Okay, so here's our mounting brackets. We got everything fastened from underneath. Nice and solid, so we'll go ahead and put our air management on it now. The next thing is go ahead and start getting to where we can put our air lines that come out of the back of this manifold through the truck, make our runs to each one of our air struts. But in order to do that, I need to put bulkheads in these corners. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill for the bulkheads. Once I do that, I'll go ahead and fasten the bulkhead too. Get that done, then we can start running airline. Okay, now for the fun part.
Running the lines.
Trying to figure out how I want to do them. If I want to get one clean.
I think simple and clean, because it already looks simple and clean.
I want to put a little extra on it.
Do a big lightning bolt with the airline.
There you go, lightning bolt. Man, you done stole the show. There we go. It's always good to start with a straight piece of line. All I gotta do is make everything nice and even, symmetrical. So then this run 45. So I'm looking at this, trying to run the lines. I want to make sure this is parallel. This is straight up and down. With this is going to be parallel with these bars on the tank. You know, I want it to look clean. I don't want it to look sloppy. And if there's anything wrong with it, you'll definitely notice it. So it's always trying to do the best job. You know, quality counts.
You go up and over like a Mustang instead.
Last line's in. Everything looks good. It's nice and symmetrical. So now we can go ahead and move on to the air struts.
Jamie's installing the air system on the 2022 Ford Lightning. You know, our next challenge is wiring it all up.
Everything's done. Lines to my air struts. First thing is go ahead and mount my airline. Get everything plumbed and ran. Once I do that, I'll go ahead and jump to the back. So basically all I'm doing is transferring the air from the compressors in the tank through my bulkheads right here and right on top of my air strut. My first run's gonna be a 90 out of the bulkhead, straight across to the pullover. So it's just getting the measurements from 90 out to over to 90 in, getting those proper to make everything look like it should. Check for burrs. If you get any kind of burr on this end, that's why we're so careful when we do it here. Is to sand these ends, make sure no burrs get in the fittings. If you got a little burr, it'll tear the O-ring in the fitting, you'll have a leak. You'll be chasing it down. There's a bunch of different ways to run lines. You know, you can do DOT, you can do copper, aluminum. So many bends I'm gonna make with this, I wanna make it easy to bend, so I'm gonna go ahead and run aluminum instead of just running like flexible line and zip tying it everywhere. We're gonna run it the right way, hard line it, fasten it. It's not gonna leak. Okay, so that about does it. Got the rear done, got the front done, all the lines are ran. Everything's run right to the bulkheads, to the front, to all our compressors, to our manifold, to our tank. So the last statement. So I already had the line ran through the firewall, so I just need to pull that through, route it. Once I route it, I can plug it in, heat shrink it, then start our air measurement. Now we're gonna controller set up. This will do each corner individually if you want, or all together. It's a real easy system to learn. So when this guy gets to where he's going, he can either be up, down, or in between. And that's it.
Part of waking up this brand new Ford Lightning is changing up that exterior. You know, the customer wants to change the look a little bit and also advertise his business.
Bill gave us a shout. He had a customer that came in with a wrap vehicle. Had a partial wrap on it with some reflective graphics. He came to us, so we came up with a great concept to fully wrap the truck with a color flip shift gloss white called Gloss White Fireworks. Then we're gonna have some 3D underlays and then reflective overlays, so at night, so it lights. Photographs, pictures, any light source will really make it light up. And then we're gonna have some black gloss accents as well, so we'll have 3-layer wrap that we're doing. So what we're gonna do now is peel off the reflector. The thing about reflective, the film comes off real easy, but all reflective removal leaves a ton of glue. Citrus-based adhesive remover. It works super fast. It's citrus-based. It can't hurt paint. Spray it on, you wait 30 seconds, you take a little plastic razor blade, and it'll scrape all the goop off. Wrap is only going to look as good as the surface is going on. So your surface prep, your edges, your interior trim, all of this just needs to be super clean. So when you're doing your install, your edges will hold, you won't have any failure or lift. Don't ever use a metal razor blade on your paint, period. I don't care who you are, and some guys will argue with me on this. Oh, if you're good at it, well, generally civilians aren't good at it. So we do this for a living, and I won't put a razor blade on a paint. This is the base coat of what the car is gonna go. This is called white fireworks. So it's a flip-flop chameleon white sparkle. High gloss, high luster. Whenever you're measuring panels that you're gonna do accent panels on, or whatever wrap, make sure you have a bit of extra. So you always wanna leave a few inches extra so you can't fall short. It's like a haircut, you can't put it back. And I love this color, it's so cool. I can't wait to see it in the bright sunlight. So what we're doing now is the customer opted to have smoked taillights, so when it's on, the light still shines through it. To do it correctly, we remove the taillights so we can get our edges and everything tucked and wrapped around, and that way you don't see any extra red light filtering. But we take the taillights and headlights out in order to do so. And then the last thing that has to fit is this. It's all in the details, so it's a little fine extras that really make the wrap special and solely his. So it's a one-off that nobody else has done.
We're building an independent front suspension on the 52 tow truck. With the frame done and the engine mounted, Ryan's getting going on those lower control arms.
Really good looking wheel. I like the way it's gonna look, especially with our center cap on there. So we put our lower ball joint on the spindle and connect the ball joint to our bushing over here. And we'll just use some half right now and get a little mock-up. And then we'll transfer that to the table and build the actual control arm. That look good. I like doing it this way because I'm more of like a visual person. So this way I can not have to run off 400 measurements. I can actually put it right here and actually test it. That'll be my ride height right there. And I know 100% whatever I do right here, it's just gonna match and everything's gonna be the same on the other side. It's the best way to get it done. Right now, all I'm doing is just making a jig for my controller that I'm gonna build. Cut a couple tabs. Tack these tabs to the table. See, this is the exact angle that I need for my ball joint, and this is the length that I need from center of ball joint to my mounting point on my cross member. So I can make something that has that same angle. We don't need this anymore. We got our new ball joint cut, and I can build my control arm however I want it. That's how you make a one-off jig. Damn, that fits really good on both sides. I haven't made nice control arms like this in a while. That should fit perfect. And that, folks, is one control arm.
Jesse burned out our plates for our lower control arms on our 52 record. Once Ryan gets it all welded up and attaches the airbags,
they're good.
This truck could be able to ride really low.
Alright, we got our plate in. With it being laid out, you can see the control arm is super straight right here. With it straight like that, the bag is going to want to pull and it's going to get in a bind. It's not going to allow us to get the lift that we need to be able to turn it. So I'm going to take this cup right here and that will give us that little bit of extra. And it'll look good too. We'll take this to the table and weld this out. Then find the center on the control arm. Drill my hole all the way straight through. Weld it up. We're good to go. Alright, so now that we got our upper back bracket where we need it, we can continue on with making our gussets. It would look pretty cool if this was all one piece. So I'll make a little cardboard sketch. So this gusset will give strength to our upper bag mount and then also a little bit of style to the front end of this thing. Yeah, I wanted to change it up a little bit, just on two of them, on the front two.
Just had to make it like one whole piece.
Yeah.
So I made this beautiful upper control arm brackets for Ryan, but now he wants some custom. Making it one piece will definitely make it look a whole lot better. Since I already have these laid out on the computer, I'm gonna just add this on, combine it together. Two pieces have become one, so now I'm gonna walk these over to Ryan.
It's perfect. Appreciate it. In with the new. You see how it complements the work that's all been done up here. Instead of two pieces welded together, just take an extra 10 minutes. It looks way better. It's gonna be a lot stronger. And this was a great idea because those are the only kind I have. Alright, so my shot can only go that far right there. So the last step of the suspension here in the front is installing the shock. And make sure it's compressed. There. Looks good to me. I love it.
With the suspension and the framework all done on the record, the foundation is set. Now the fabrication can really fly. And making the bed, the boom, the sling, the interior, and getting that LT4 just right.
That is perfect.
This is one of those builds that nobody's ever gonna forget.
This is 12 inches of lift. It's a lot.
Because we're making new rocker fillers underneath the 2022 Ford Lightning, we need to start forming that brand new 18 gauge sheet metal.
After doing all this and the air ride and getting it real low, taking the running boards off, you have all this stuff just hanging down and it doesn't look good. So Bill's come up with this little template for a rocker that he wants designed. We'll take this to the table, throw some marks on some sheet metal, then we'll bend 4 of them, and then we'll cut them wherever we need to cut them. So now that we have everything laid out and cut, we can run over to our brake. Alright, our template here, every point that has a bend, we have a mark on this sheet metal, so we can transfer what we have here onto our bigger piece. Got this one done. Let's go check it out on the truck and see what it looks like. See if we need to make any changes or anything.
Way too long. I'm gonna hurt that.
Now that I know the bends are where we need it, I'm gonna make 3 more that are exactly like this, and then we'll start trimming and cutting and doing everything that we need to do to make them fit on the truck perfect. Is kind of high right there. Take that together first. Hey, you gotta pull it out further. Not in the stud. Just one nut in the front punch. Alright, so now I got it tacked together and you can see exactly what it's going to look like on the truck. I'm going to cap the end here and I'll use it to screw into the plastic. Alright, so we got it up there. The last step now is to make some brackets to the frame so it doesn't sit there and do that when you're going down the road. We're completely done with the driver's side now. Looks really good. I like it. Proud of it. We'll get that knocked out, move to the other side, duplicate everything that we do over here on this side, send it to the body guys. They'll do what they gotta do, and then we'll get the wrap guys to wrap it.
We've known Bill for a long time, and we've built several vehicles with him. The buggy.
Yeah. I'm building this, full tube chassis rocket. You're gonna let me drive it, right?
37 International.
This thing fire up today, no problem. Turbo's finished, fuel lines are ran. All that's left now is just make it look pretty. The COE.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Do what you do, Glenn. Let's get this thing running. Let's get her done. All right, man. Appreciate it. Man, this thing sounds awesome, dude. Good job. Some good, fun builds.
Yeah, he's always pushing the envelope.
And almost something it will get it.
And which pushes us too, It's really cool that, I have my family, my sons that work with me, and he feeds off of us on some things and we feed off of him.
Just build some killer rides and hopefully make a lot of people happy.
Yes. Like if we're struggling, he'll step in and vice versa. And that's what family does. We help each other.
Sometimes you think, the wrap might save some time, but doing it right to make sure it's going to stay on, it takes some time. So Patrick's going to prime the rockers on that 22 Ford Lightning before we can wrap them.
We're gonna spray like 2 coats on and give it about 30 minutes to dry. Get them over the bill. All right, here we go. All right, we got it completely covered. Give it 30, 45 minutes to dry. On to the next step.
The vast majority of work we do are custom builds. We go where the customer wants us to go. So when a customer brings in that first 2022 Ford Lightning, of course we're going to get after it. And if this is the new direction, we're going to be ready for it. I can't wait to give this one back. Man, old truck's looking good.
Man, it definitely is. It's a head turn now.
We definitely learned some things on this one, but that's going to come in handy. Our first electric, and it definitely ain't going to be our last.
No, man, this is the future right here.
Uh-oh. So, Tommy?
Yep.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Tommy?
What do y'all got there?
You already working on one of these?
Yeah. Wow, I love these things, man. That
awesome.
looks awesome.
Very.
I'm telling you.
Hey, there ain't no diesel in this one.
Yeah, but they make torque like us, and, you know, we love that.
Oh, yeah. We love moving mass.
Yes, we do.
The customer came in with it not too long ago, and he had his logos on it, but he wanted something really to wake it up.
Yeah.
When he's driving around, he wants people to look at it, pay attention, and, you know, advertise his business.
It definitely caught my eye when I pulled up.
Oh, well, he wanted a cool truck, too, so it kind of works both ways. You know, you have a cool truck, and you get to ride it off, I guess.
Exactly.
One of the first things we had to do is change that lettering that was on there. The customer got with Wrap Stars. They come up with this design, and they just came over and installed it here.
Oh, wow.
The wrap's like this silver, reflective, beautiful color.
Did you notice, like, when the light hits it, it changes?
Yeah.
It just, like, illuminates, so it really pops.
You know, one of the other things we did, look on the bottom of the doors right there, it had a retractable step underneath there, and we lowered it, so we definitely don't need the power steps anymore. But once we took all that off, there was a big void. It didn't look right. We filled the void with that little rocker filler there.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's super clean.
When I was taking these steps off, it was completely alien to me underneath this truck. It was odd.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely not normal F-150 under there.
But what you did, it fits it like it's a factory piece.
Yeah.
It does. It looks awesome.
If you like that, well, you know what we're known for, right?
I do, and so what did you do to it? Wow, man, that is cool.
You bagged this thing?
That is cool.
Well, he wanted it lowered, so
you just went all the way?
Might as well, right?
Yeah, so.
As far as I know, this is the first bagged Lightning ever.
Yeah.
I've never seen one. That's cool.
No.
We did air struts on this one.
Oh, yeah?
Air struts on the front and the rear.
Also, it rides good, too, huh?
Yeah. It's kind of odd putting the compressor in the tanks where always we see the motor in here.
Dad, it must be crazy for you, from steam engine to cool to everything, you know. I bet it's a brave world.
I'm old, but I ain't that old.
It's got those bi-air compressors, man. They pump up 200 PSI super quick to the 7-gallon tank. So you just push a button and
that's
goes
awesome.
right up to ride height.
So how low will it go?
Check it out.
All right.
Oh,
that's awesome, bro.
Yeah, I'd say you got it pretty dang low for him.
It's really cool to be leading the way. A new electric Ford Lightning, never been on the ground like this. Got big 24s on it. It just looks perfect proportion to the truck itself.
The wheels and tires just fit the wheel openings and the truck perfectly. Y'all just did an awesome job.
The team came together. Once again, thank you to every guy in the shop, sweeping, welding, grinding. Couldn't do it without you.
That's the coolest business card you can get right there.
Right?
That's sweet.
What y'all up to today? What y'all need?
Man,
we're going to give it some style that you can't buy out of a catalog. That's the Karate Kid. Karate Kid bumper. I love the Ranger. We're going to do some stuff to this that nobody's ever even seen. Build a custom camper for the back of this.
Okay.
You got to make something for all sizes and shapes, but when it comes to building something that's custom, you make it fit to you. Perfect.
Oh my God. Badass. Oh my God.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Oh man, you taking this thing out for the weekend?
It's time to go have some fun.
Oh yeah.
I bought a Polaris Ranger not too long ago, and the idea is for everybody to be able to use it, have fun with it, but riding around stock just isn't cutting it. Going out to the off-road park and just seeing all the crazy side-by-sides out there, it's just like custom cars around here. It's a whole nother world. Man, you take this out there, I mean, you have fun, but you're like, damn, look at that cool, look at that cool, and you feel so insignificant. We can't have that, man.
Yeah.
It's going to represent extensive out somewhere. We can't have it stock.
I knew this was coming.
There's a lot of stuff I want to do to this. Course lifted, course big wheels and tires, control arms, bumpers, front and back. The aftermarket accessories for this is pretty much unlimited. So there's a lot of stuff that we don't have to make.
Not going to be hard to find the parts for this.
No, but we're going to do some stuff to this that nobody has, nobody sells, and nobody's ever even seen. If we're going to do something to it, we're going to come with it. I love the Ranger, but it just looks too squished and tall. So one of the first things we're going to do is chop the top. Give it the roofline that smooth, cleaner look. Lay the windshield back a little bit and drop it down. But I want that roofline to continue, so I'm thinking build a custom camper for the...
Okay.
And I want to fill it full of subs.
That'll get the attention.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen a UTV with a camper on it. So I'm thinking back to my old days when I used to have a little S10 with the snug top on it. Thinking that was pretty cool. So I'm going to build one. Not only that, something I've never, ever even seen or heard on a side-by-side. I want to dance in bed. Like old school mini truck dance in bed on a side-by-side.
See, now we're going back to my California roots right here.
You know, way back in history, back in the late 80s, early 90s, you know, the rave was in the mini truck scene was having a dance in bed. And if you don't know what that is, it is the bed of a truck that's been cut out and modified where actually hydraulics actuate the bed back and forth. And it looks like the bed is actually dancing on the back of the truck. This is going to be crazy. Crazy. If we're going to do it, let's do it.
You know, there was a bet to see how long it was going to take before this thing got taken to the next levels. It didn't take long, so I'm going to go tell the wife I won some money now.
Just the past decade or so, crazy. People spend more money on their side-by-side than they do their car. Everything that you can buy online, you're going to see out there. It's nothing to see a side-by-side with $100,000 in it. You know, it's unbelievable. Anytime you build something that looks cool, it's always good for business. We've been setting the trend for years with automotive scene, and with the bar set really high, everybody already thinks, oh, I've been there, done that, seen that. Well, we're going to prove that they haven't. We're going to show them something that's really, really cool and make people think, dang, I need that. And they know where to come when they see it.
All right, tell me it's time. It doesn't fit in the parking lot. It's too stock.
Man, riding around on a bone stock vehicle just isn't cool.
That ain't you, man.
No. I want to build something that just everybody else is like, damn, did you see that? And just be talking about it from now on. That's what I want to turn this into. We're about to have a whole bunch of parts come in for this suspension, and we're going to, of course, paint it. This only color I could get is just white, but it don't matter. This is something we just gotta do it. One of the first things we're going to do is drop the roof line down. 4 inches is about borderline how much we can get away with. So I want you to take out the seats, seat belts, and the mesh doors. Take all that off. So we can start chopping this. We can cut this off here and here. We'll make something a little cooler for that. Get the doors on it. Leveling it all up is going to take a minute. I'm going to take the bed off, tilt it up to get it out of the way. Then we can start cutting. We got everything lined up, all level. Everything's straight. We got a good foundation. We know when we take this off, it's not going anywhere. Let's pull these off. Okay. Take these over back to the table. Okay. Clean off all the weld. Then we can slip those pieces right back down in the tube.
Nice. It's loose.
Got it.
All right, go ahead and cut out the back now, huh?
Probably get it pretty good and then just split it.
Yeah, peel it off.
Yeah.
So me and Bill cut this off, and this right here slides into this tube. What I'm doing is cutting the weld off, and then I'm gonna split it. Then I can work the metal back and forth, and the weld will break. Nice. So we'll have this bung right here to be able to put right back on and re-weld it once we clean the weld off of it. Now for the front part, the windshield. Once we bring it down 4 inches, it's going to change the pitch slightly. You can't just drop it down because this will be over where it needs to be. So that's why I'm cutting it in 2 places. That's our 3 pieces.
Ready?
Yeah,
Yours
1,
in?
2, 3.
Put this top piece in, and then we'll make that fit.
Do one side at a time.
Nice. That's way better. Way better already. A lot better proportions. Cut a little bit of that out. Welding. I think we're ready, man. I'm really happy with how the roof looks. You get back and look at it, it looks like it's factory. It should have been that way. You know, it looked really tall, really out of proportion before, which I understand.
Riding the line on that side.
You got to make something for all sizes and shapes for whoever's behind the wheel, but when it comes to building something that's custom, you make it fit to you. Perfect. It's our first custom part for the side. Hell yeah. There's 2 best parts of any build. One being the end, when it's all put together. And the other part, the beginning, you know, when you're turning that thought that's in your head down into metal. And this time, that's that camper shell for the 2023 Polaris. Now that the roof line's all established, we can start on the camper. We got chipboard up front here, so I know how we're going to attach it to the front of the bed. I ordered a window online. I ordered it pretty much to the tailgate, so the opening lines up with the tailgate itself. Just kind of want to get back, look, see where the angle of the window needs to be in relation to everything else.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
And then we'll see how high the back of it needs to be. I have the front of the camper laid out with a cutout in the front of it, so when the bed lifts up, you can see all the speakers pointing at you. What up, man?
What up?
You know we're building that camper for the back of the side-by-side, so we got to have a place to put all those subs in the back, right? Here's the measurements I took, and this is the radius I want for the top. And want to build it all out of 1/8" aluminum, and I'll bring the window over here for it. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I think everybody's been waiting for this, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time with it, man. We're all take it out and just go crazy with it.
Yeah, can't wait, man. So now I'm just drawing out the camper bed for the side-by-side, which is going to have a bunch of speakers, and there's going to be dancing. The side-by-side's been here for a while, you know, we go to the park, we take it out, but it's been stocked, and when you go out there, you'll see a bunch of 4-wheelers, all lifted, customized. I think it's going to be fun now that we're going to customize the side-by-side, and it's going to represent, you know, the shop itself. Usually when we do a build, it's for a customer, and it goes home with the customer, so you don't ever get to see it again. With the side-by-side, we'll be able to show it off, and we'll be able to use it ourselves at the mud park.
Cool. Nice. Jesse, as always, did a great job burning it out. It's exactly what I wanted. So the next step on this is I'm going to bend a 90 over and then a 90 down. So the front of this has a lip to sit on the front and fasten it to the bed itself. When it's up dancing around, it ain't going anywhere. Looking real good. I like it already.
And taking this thing out to the mud park, you know, I'm really looking forward to that. You see a lot of different things there, but you ain't gonna see this. Like it? Yeah.
Hey, Bill.
What's up, Greg?
How you doing, man?
Hey, good morning, man. Good morning. Yeah. You know, I've known Greg for a while. He's our steel guy. So anytime I need any kind of steel, that's who I call. Man, the old Jeep's looking real good, man. I love the stance of it, man. Little 40s on it, too?
Yeah. I put the 40s on it. Chrome ollie axles, re-gear, upper and lower control arms. Pretty much everything I can do that I can bolt onto it, I've done. You know, I like Jeeps and the Gladiator, the truck. I love it, man. I've always been a truck guy. I need a truck bed. I actually use my truck, and I'm hauling stuff and projects, and you know, I'm going to mud parks every weekend. I love the look of the Gladiator.
You take it off-road, too.
I do. I'm in the mud parks on weekends selling steel, and you know, these ATV guys are building the side-by-sides like you built your giant one. I'd love to see yours out there one day.
Yeah. So what are you doing in this area, man? I know we got plenty of steel from you.
Want to show you a little ding I got in the back there.
What'd you do?
Well, I got rear end bumper out of whack, and you know, bed's a little jacked up, but I don't think it's not nothing you can't handle.
Well, let's check it out. Oh man, yeah, you got it a little bit.
Just heartbreaking. Didn't have too many scratches or dings on it, and then all of a sudden here it is.
That's how it is, man.
Yeah.
You know, of course, as soon as you get your car looking right, you're feeling good, driving around, you know it's looking good, you crash right into it. Man, Greg, it is twisted up a little bit, huh? It looks like the whole bed's racked a little bit, too. I mean, the damage isn't that bad, but it looks like it's out of square.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the bed side wrinkled up. It'd be best to just go ahead and throw a new bed on it.
I like that.
You know, the good thing about getting rear-ended something like this is you don't have to go back with that factory plastic bumper. Since you're here, it's time to maybe get a little custom. Let's just upgrade a little bit. Let's go with a cool, sleek looking all metal bumper where it's going to give you a little bit more protection than that plastic.
I think that's a great idea. If I get rear-ended again, I'd rather have them bounce off and smash the truck in.
Exactly. I noticed you pulling in too that there's a 6-inch lift on here with the 40s. You know, it has the factory core link on it, but once you lift it that high, it scoots that wheel way far forward in the fender well.
I see it every time I look at it.
Yeah, for sure, man. We could build a new 4-link bars, scoot the wheel back, and center it back up in the fender well again. That'd be a huge improvement.
I like it.
I noticed that front bumper, too.
Looks like a big old mustache up there, doesn't it?
Let's go check it out. That looks mean coming at you, man.
You know, I put a steel one on the front. I bought a big, wide, heavy one, put it on there because I figured if there was going to be any impacts done, it'd be by me in the front.
Right.
I didn't think about the back.
There's a couple things we could do to it to make it a little cooler. Yeah. We could give you a little bit more clearance of the wheels, you know, when you're turning, climbing up and down.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we can make it look a little cooler, give you a little bit more room, and make it custom at the same time.
I love your thinking, Bill. Them big old 40-inch tires need a little room.
Yeah, right? And then, you know, it looks like we could probably get this whole chunk of metal out of the way. Let's make your truck one of one, you know, just by modifying what's here. Make this bumper look even meaner.
I think it'll look pretty mean coming at you after that.
That would really set off the front of it. It looks real good, but we'll make it look even better.
I'm excited.
You know, you can't go anywhere on the road without seeing a Jeep. And there's a lot of people trying to set their Jeep apart from everyone else's with everything you can buy online. But when a Jeep like that comes into this property, we're going to get our hands on it and just give it some style that you can't buy out of a catalog. The Jeep Gladiator's had a lot of work done to it, but not really a lot of custom work done to it. So we're going to get our hands on it. We're going to get him hooked up, and we're going to put some custom touches on it, some extensive custom touches from front to back. And that way, when he's on the road, there won't be another one like it.
This dude, this is kind of rough.
I'm glad it's your job and not mine, though. So. Sir, what's up, bud?
Well, got a little problem right here.
Yeah, we see.
It's never good when a vehicle gets into an accident, but in this instance, it gives us the opportunity to wake the 22 Jeep Gladiator all the way up. Well, that's what he originally brought it in. Phil,
right.
This is his personal truck, so you got to get him hooked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, it isn't just this little damage right here. If you really start to look at it, Pat, the whole bed side is wrinkled.
Yeah.
And wrinkles in the bed floor itself, so.
Gotcha. So we probably were talking about replacing the whole bed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pull this off, let's find a new bed, spray it, and bolt it right back on. No body work.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. In case this ever happens again, we'll put a bumper on it that's a little more substantial than this plastic, right?
So he just came here to get that fixed? We're doing collision work now, or what?
Well, since it's here,
yeah,
the thing looks great, man. It's got a good stance to it. The wheels and tires look good on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's bought everything he could possibly buy on the internet and bolted it on.
Yeah, you got a bunch of add-ons on.
But, you know, we need to raise the front up a little bit more for him, get it a little more level, look a little better. It's a little lower in the front.
Yeah, for sure.
And with the lift that he has on there, you know, the arc of the factory 4-link has brought the wheelbase closer together. So the wheel's not centered in the fender well. So we're just going to make a new 4-link. Well, Pat, you get a couple guys from the body shop, go ahead and remove the bumper. Let's do it.
All right.
We're gonna put a more beefier bumper on it. First we're gonna get the tailgate off, tail lights, everything dismantled. We're gonna start with the bumper. Basically we're gonna get into it, see where it goes from there. I think we got everything detached, and I believe we're ready to get it off.
Rinky-dink leaks.
When the Jeep was lifted up to where it's at now, the axle moved forward. It followed that plane of the factory 4-link. It scooted the wheels all the way forward. So we're going to replace the factory 4-link with some longer ones that Ryan and Art are going to make.
Since the wheel is not centered in the wheel well of the bed, instead of remaking everything, all we're going to do is make 4 adjustable arms that can adjust out whatever we want it to be.
Definitely got to beef it up.
So now that we got the links off of the truck, got a little piece of scrap metal, kind of clean it up a little bit, get these tabs here, and this is going to be our jig for our links. That way we can put this here, bolt it up, just as if you're throwing it on the truck. And then we tack these here. Once we get those tagged in, we can bust this apart, and we'll just use the same exact tabs here on this side, and then we'll just add tabs here for this guy right here. That way we're not using two different pieces of metal, and it's all consolidated.
And voila, we now have a jig made for both sizes of the 4 links that we're about to make, made to fit on each one. Just run a bolt through it and it's gonna slide in perfect.
So the left hand, having the double adjustment here with the left and the right hand heims. Oh, and we can get the rear end aligned with the center of the wheel well. So we got the measurements for the DOM, and we can get Arthur to cut that stuff. And we'll get it over here and get it tacked in.
All right, I just got done cutting the first piece for the 4 link that we're making on this Jeep. It is 1.5 inches in ID with a 1/4 inch thick wall. Just look at this thing. It's a lot thicker, super stronger, take more of a beating than the part that's on there right now. Now that I got my new 4 links made, I'm gonna go clean them up and make them look nice and shiny.
So as you can see, got our heims in, got our DOM cut, it's all in place, it's tight, doesn't move, it's level with the 2x3 right here, so I'm gonna put some little small tacks on there. Alright, now I got all of them tacked, they're all fit together, everything looks good. We'll leave this one in the jig, we can weld it out, we'll weld all the rest of them, send them off, get them powder coated.
On the 2022 Jeep Gladiator just wasn't looking right. It was a little bit lower in the front and higher in the back. So we're gonna make it level and put some pucks in and raise that front up just a little bit.
No, it's not gonna be too bad. What, bolt the shock, do the sway bar.
All that'll drop far enough.
Okay.
Well, I don't know about that one. It's probably gonna max out on the
on the drag links, yeah.
Wow, so that's tight. So in order to get our spacers up in here, we need to take the shock out, this sway bar, and then it'll allow all this to drop a little bit further. So we're able to access this little pocket up in here.
Shake it up and see what happens,
yeah.
All right, man.
Feels like it just stuck right there, like it wants to come up. No.
You want to put spring compressors on?
Yeah, there's some in that drawer right there. There you go. We've got it all busted apart and raised all the way up, spring compressors, and pull this springle down a little bit further. That way we're able to get it out of the pocket up here. Why are you so scared of that thing?
Because it's like a time bomb, like a ticking one.
Nah, man, this ain't going nowhere. It's what's in there. It's got so much pressure on it, there's no way it could... You can hit that with a hammer right now. It will not.
I'm gonna let you do that.
I'll do it.
I'll do it. Rubber isolator?
Our rubber isolator is gonna stay on the spring, like so. Then we got our 1 inch spacer here, and then our 1/2 inch, which makes 1.5 inches.
Boom.
We got 1 1/2 inches put them together. It's science.
Yeah. All right. Right on, right on.
Right on.
You help me pull this bumper off real quick?
Originally, I thought we were just gonna customize the front bumper on the Jeep, but the more I look at it, it's too ugly to say.
Come on.
There's no flowing lines on it whatsoever, so bingo. I just want to scrap the old bumper, and I want to build something that looks a little more glowing also. We're gonna cut off the frame some and scoot it back far as we can. Weld a 1/4-inch plate all the way against the front of the frame, something that we can bolt the winch to, and to be able to bolt the bumper to as well. Now I can get some chipboard and kind of see what we got. Once that's established, we can bend some 1/8-inch plate. We can go from there. That'll work.
That's about it.
Now I just got to figure out how to make that look good. You know, I kind of got an idea how I want the bumper to look, but just kind of making a quick little template out of chipboard. Then when you get it just right, transfer it over to metal, and then you can build the puzzle. You know, we chopped the light down to give you a little more room here, but it just looks too empty, too open. So we're gonna get a little bit farther behind schedule and make it cool at the same time. I want to build the bumper all the way up to the bottom side of the light, but still give him a lot of ground clearance. Cut that all the way off of the... And the only way to build something like this is to the vehicle. This way you can see what's up, what the next piece is. I mean, this is just the most efficient, easiest, best way to do something like this. Quick little spin. All right.
That's good. The top's pretty good, huh?
That's what we need, man. We'll get this part set, cut, tacked in, get it caught up on that side. Yeah, that's the Karate Kid.
Yeah, there you go. The
Karate Kid bumper. When you have a gap that you're trying to fill in, you know, sometimes using a wire feed, you hit the trigger and the wire goes past beyond the metal that you're working with. A cool little trick is putting copper behind it. You can weld that gap all the way up and just break the copper right off, and it keeps everything right where you want it to be. We got the size and shape for the camper all established on the 2023 Polaris Ranger. We got her front, we got her back, got the slope, so I got the measurements for the roof. The next step, we're gonna bend it. Pretty cool to get to see the roof about to go on here. I mean, it's definitely a critical stage to make everything nice and square and straight so we don't have a lot of problems later. We're gonna tech screw everything just so we know everything lines up nice and right. We definitely don't want it to look like it's already been tipped over. We want to make sure it's all straight. You gotta make sure everything is on point, everything's square, everything's lined up perfectly. I think the next thing we'll do is shape the corners here. Little compound curve right here. That little compound curve is probably going to be the hardest part of all of this. So what we're going to do is just... I'll mark the bends out on this piece of chipboard. So now I'm going to transfer those measurements over to my metal by rounding the template. Good?
I'm right on the line.
Let me go a little bit more.
Actually pretty good.
Oh, it's looking real good. You know, this fits the radius of the cage itself, and that's what I wanted, a little slope down in the back to give it a little more style to it. So we got a nice, perfect little seam here to weld, because we need it super strong, man, because there's going to be a lot of bass inside here. It's going to be shaking everything. So every little piece we put on, just get a little more excited about getting across that finish line and making something really cool. We're getting really close, man. You can really start to see how everything's coming together on the 23 Polaris Ranger. Well, the next thing we're going to do is make the 2 side pieces. You know, one that caps the top rail here and goes all the way down to the side. One bends on the side here, so it keeps everything nice and straight. So when you're welding it, it's just not going to bow and buckle. It has that nice, clean, crisp edge on it. It makes everything super strong. The last piece for Jesse, so we'll go get that done. That's it, man. All right. Thank you. There's going to be a lot of vibration in here, not only going down a trail or through mud holes, but from all the subs that are going to be in there. There's going to be a ton of stereo. That and the side-to-side movement of the dancing beds. This is going to be put through the test for sure. So we want to make sure it's super strong and we're not going to have any problems down the future of anything cracking.
Jesse's working on our side piece right now. So I need to go ahead and start filling in this radius right here. It's a compound radius because I'm rolling this way and I'm rolling this way. So I have an arch and a radius going in. So I'm going to take my nice piece of sheet metal right here, put it in the roller, get it rolled. Once I do that, then I can start rolling this edge. Kind of feel it out, see what your metal's doing, how your metal's working, and just kind of adjust on the fly. You're not going to do it just a certain way. Every little bend, radius, and corner is always different, so there's many different techniques, and I've gone with the Flemington hammer. Well, the reason I do it this way is because it makes a lot of noise and irritates everybody in the shop. So after running the Flemington hammer, I'll dolly it out a little bit, cut it down to size. What you got now? So it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, but in the end, you won't even know all the work that went on that one little corner.
You know, last little piece, well, last big piece, it looks simple, just to bend some sides and put in place, but there's a lot of room for error on that. So you got to check, double check, triple check to make sure it's 100%. So that's what I'm doing, just laying everything out, measuring, coming back, laying out, measuring, laying out. It should fit right in, and we're only doing this one time. Then the camper will be complete. I mean, we got a camper.
I see.
It's like perfectly even with the roof.
It's down too, so it looks like it's perfect.
Way more work than I thought it was.
I know, right?
The custom camper is just one of the first parts of this build. From here, we're going to go with the little old school mini truck flavor, like making a dancing bed. We put it upside down right there. We're going to bring the right team in to do that. We're going to add rear steer, bumper, paint, interior, stereo, speaker, lights. But as it sits right now, it's already really, really cool. I'm definitely getting excited. There won't be another one like it anywhere, much less the mud part.
Alright, so we're working on a Jeep Gladiator. The reason why we have this bed here is because the other one got wrecked. So instead of fixing the dents and all that, we thought, hey, might as well get a new bed. One big problem, this color is not the same as the vehicle. So what we have to do is change the color and color match it to the vehicle so it can all look perfect like if nothing ever happened. The reason I take off the fenders off of the bed is because you have this, and some people try to cut corners and maybe just leave the fender on and try to make sure that you get as much paint as the paint here, get paint there, and get it done right. I'm gonna sand it, get the green off, then we're gonna prep it, get it in the booth, and get the actual right color on it.
With the busy shop getting even busier, we got a lot of new faces. Patrick came all the way from Mississippi, and I'm glad we got him as a new painter.
Edgar's done prepping the bed, so now the next step is to seal it. That's actually to turn the green bed into a red bed. We go in, we mix our sealer, because without that it won't dry, it won't adhere. Second step is the base coat. We're gonna do a spray out to make sure the color is the same. Now after the spray out, we'll go and check it with the vehicle, make sure it's the proper color. Actually looks pretty proper. So what we're gonna do, get the bed sprayed, 3 or 4 coats of base, tack between coats, then we move on. It's crucial when you're mixing your clear coat because you want to mix it just right so it'll dry at the proper time. 3 or 4 coats of clear, same steps, tack between coats. We actually have a red bed that actually matches the Jeep. Well, I started painting model cars, bicycles back in the day. I actually started in my backyard. My father built a shop just so I could continue. Years later, I bought my own property, built my own shop. So basically started from the backyard, kept inspiring myself. That's my passion of painting. When you first see a vehicle, the color is the first thing you see. I take normal colors, make them a lot more intense. It's very exciting to me. I like taking a vehicle and giving it attitude. We get to take something new, tear it apart, make something better out of it. I actually get to bring them back to life. So it's like being a big kid again. This is actually something I would like to pass on to my kids. I have an 18-year-old son and a 4-year-old son, and I'm looking forward to those guys actually coming into this. Maybe they could be a whole lot better than I am, which is gonna be rough, but hopefully they can be better than I am.
The Jeep Gladiator was pretty beat up after getting in an accident, but that just gave us the opportunity to make it really cool and custom. You know, the aftermarket bumper that was on here just isn't gonna cut it. So we're gonna go with a fabricated metal bumper that'll hold up a lot better.
It's gonna really add to the look that, you know, he's going for. It's gonna add to the beefiness of the rear to match the front. You know, we got everything going on up front, and just there was nothing back here, stock bumper. So this is really gonna be a good look for him. A little less stock and more custom. Right up our alley.
One more right there.
We got it back down on the ground. It's on the wheels and tires. You can see the links have moved it back exactly where we wanted it, center of the bed here in the wheel well. Time to clean it up and we'll give Greg his truck back.
Typically a collision repair shop, but if your fender buyers need some help, we're definitely gonna help them out. And then some. What's happening, Greg?
All right.
How you doing, man?
Hanging in there, but waiting.
Definitely the perfect opportunity to bring him over to the custom world.
Me getting rear-ended in an accident.
We're about to see. You ready to check it out?
I am, man.
All right, Ryan, come on with it.
Oh my God! Bill, you knocked it out of the park, buddy. Badass! Oh my God! Dent's gone. Hey, I thought you were just gonna scuff it up, throw a little paint on it, and stick it back on there.
No, man, come on.
Oh my gosh! That is phenomenal.
Something, man?
How you doing, brother?
What'd you think?
Oh, hell of a job, man. I never in a million years thought it would come back to me like this.
Man, we had to get you hooked up. I mean, you always take care of us, whatever we need. So I want to return the favor. You got a little crashed up. I mean, the whole bed was actually racked. It would just taken way too long to repair it. We just got you another bed, color matched it, bolted it right on.
The bed came out beautiful, new lights on it, bumper on it, looks amazing.
It had a plastic bumper on it too, so you didn't have very much protection. You had to put something a little bit more substantial in case that ever happened again.
They're gonna bounce off that big boy.
Yeah, they are, man, for sure. Great looking truck, had a good stance, but once you lifted it, you know, with that short factory 4-link, the wheels moved a little more forward. So what we did is made a brand new 4-link and scooted the wheels back center of the fender well. It looks cool under there, and it definitely serves its purpose.
Made a sound for me.
Oh, big DOM arms and the big Heims and all that stuff. Plus centering it looks great and handled great.
No problem. Phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. Man, we got one other thing for you too, man.
More?
Yeah. A little something up front. Let's see it. Check it out. Oh, wow, guys. It doesn't even look like the same truck anymore. Well, good, because I definitely didn't like that front bumper.
Nah.
Looked like it had a mustache, didn't it? You wanted a little bit more ground clearance. You wanted a little bit more tire clearance. And we talked about chopping that bumper that you had on there. And man, after thinking about it, looking at it, it just wasn't gonna look cool. So what we did is just took the old bumper off and pushed that winch as far back as we could in the frame, made new brackets, cut the frame off, gave you 6 more inches right there in the front. We just took a piece of 1/8 inch material and just started chopping it up. That's 25 pieces of metal right there, all welded and bent together to form that bumper. The whole front of the truck looks like one piece now. Yeah, it just looks amazing. You ain't gonna find that on the internet. I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody in the shop. They did an amazing job. I can't thank you guys enough. I can't wait to get the truck out in the mud park and go have some fun. So you liking it? I love it. I love it, man. Can you build a truck like, did you jump my truck?